Hi, and welcome to 6 stories for 7 a.m. because there's a famine of truth in our land. And this is your quick news fix. And the truth starts now. And it's Monday, last Monday in August. I think that's right. Anyway, we're coming up on a short week. We're coming up on a holiday. There's already people coming up to me and telling me they're leaving. They're leaving. I had a woman come up to me in church and tell me, we're going away. We're going to the DR for 3 weekends. I'm like, 3 weekends? You mean you're staying from one weekend through the next? You have the lack of compassion to tell that to an impoverished podcaster working through all of these holidays. I can't stand it. Let's get started. Take one. Super-Agers. Meet Sel Yackley. She's 85 and she's busy. She makes jewelry. She sings in a choir. She knits hats and scarves for the homeless. She's an active reader, like books. Remember those? She's active in her book club. She goes to the gym weekly. She's 85, folks. She's active in civic organizations. Her Fitbit shows that she sleeps 7.5 hours per night. Sel Yackley is a super-ager. So what is a super-ager? Anyone 80 years old or older who retains the memory-delayed word recall testing of a 50 to 60-year-old. So I'm out. I'm just clearly out, okay? Super-agers prove that impaired memory isn't always a hallmark of aging. Yackley's parents, along with her, moved to Chicago from Turkey. Her parents lived to be 86 and 88, but Yackley believes her joie de vivre, that's joy of life for those of you in Dover. Yackley says that she feels determined to live a long life along with the activities that keep her engaged and doing things that make her proud. Tamar Geffen, co-author of this study and an associate professor of psychiatry and behavioral science at the Feinberg School, says connections of all kinds are the ticket. Super-agers are connected. They're connected to the land. They're connected to family. They're connected to ancestry. They're connected to their grandchildren or connected to their art. She says you don't see a lot of detached super-agers. You have to actively stay in the game. There are 7 million people in the U.S. currently living with Alzheimer's. And AI projects that number to hit 13 million by 2050. About 1 in 9 people, 65 and older, have some form of dementia. Starting a news podcast is an early sign. Get to the joke line and blow it, you old geezer. All right, take 2. The future is fitters. So here's a true gift from AI. An August study from ZETI of 1,000 Gen Z adults reported 43% have changed or adjusted their career plans because of AI job replacement influences. It's a nice way to put it. So the company Resume Builder reports that 25% of Gen Z adults moved to blue-collar trade careers to avoid AI replacement. And then they focus on a group of new apprentices at the United Association of Pipefitters Local 342, a union that trains workers for pipe trade industries. So these folks will be apprentices for 5 years, and then they graduate as journeymen, and they'll be earning a union wage of $80.50 an hour, hooah, and no tuition debt. Can't beat it. All right, take three. The third way. That's right. I'm telling you, it's called The Third Way. The Third Way is a leftist think tank that targets leftists who wish to stop Donald Trump and MAGA. Third Way is creating a blacklist for dim Dems to follow as a language modification tool to be used just until November of 2026. The blacklist is broken down into 6 categories. Category 1, therapy speak. Category 2, seminar room language. Category 3, organizer jargon, like early Obama speak, hope, change, the oceans will recede, that kind of crap. Number 4, gender orientation correctness. We're going to miss that. 5, the shifting language of racial constructs, finding less obnoxious ways to call everyone a racist. And number 6, explaining away crime, like Newsom, Antifa, Schiff, Letitia, Fani, Hunter. You get it. It's a broad landscape and a target-rich environment for Dems to defend. All right, so following along on that, author John Nolte of Breitbart is offering an interpretive guide to blacklist terms. This is a thing. You're hearing it here. Get ready. So when you hear someone say incarcerated people, that means street thugs. Justice involved, that's a violent criminal, okay? Dialoguing, that's only happens in a chat room. Triggering, well, that's telling someone the truth. Microaggression, that's offending a thin-skinned fascist. Body shaming, that's telling funny fat jokes. Subverting norms, that's behaving like a Democrat. Systems of oppression, that's opposing merit. Cultural appropriation, John says, eating with chopsticks while you watch Superfly TNT and your kids run around in sombreros playing cowboys and Indians. Good one. The unhoused, that's smelly homeless people. Food insecurity, it's coming up short at the end of the month because you wasted your food stamps on Entenmann's and Dr. Pepper. Housing insecurity, about to be smelly homeless person because you bought weed and Entenmann's before paying the rent. Person who immigrated, that's a foreigner, most of the time illegal. Birthing person, that's a woman. Pregnant people, those are women who are pregnant. Cisgender, that's a normal person. Dead naming, he'll always be Bruce Jenner to me. Heteronormative, they use that a lot. No one knows what the hell that means. BIPOC, that's referring to minorities. LGBTQIA plus, the gays and whatever. And involuntary confinement, that's justice. All right, so for Dems, the choice is clear. There are only 2 ways to deal. Come up with equally stupid terms or talk like a normal person, which will alienate your base of purple-haired boomer hags who purchase boxed wine at Costco. Ever since the arrival of Obama, Democrats have made the grave error of radicalizing their base with the poison of identity politics. Today, that tail wags the dogs. Democrats are stuck with these radical lunatics, with these unforgiving fascists who demand loyalty tests and 100% fealty. And the language you use is the most important part of that test. If you don't use the approved language, you're a Nazi, period. Democrats have painted themselves into a corner where any attempt to moderate will result in brutal backlash. And look, there's just nothing quite like being genuine. So their meme is, let's all fake it till Hakeem makes it. It ain't going to work. None of their junk works. All right. Take 4. 1. X-37B. Have you heard of this? It launched last Thursday. Orbital test vehicle, a military space plane. This is a $180 million deal for 2 launches for Elon and SpaceX for the U.S. Space Force's Space Systems Command. Do you know about this? Space Systems Command, SSC. These cats are not playing around. They are hugely active, and no matter where I look, I can't figure out what the hell they're doing. So the first launch was NROL-69 on March 24th of this year. There have been 3 launches so far in 2025 for the Space Systems Command, and over the next 12 months, more launches than ever in the history of the U.S., all for, get it, national security payloads. Wow. That won't keep you up at night. In May, the Global Positioning System GPS 3-7 Space Vehicle 08 launched. Last Thursday night, X-37B, a military space plane, orbital test vehicle, and there are 2 operational space planes in the X-37B fleet. So while my brain is stuck on the Golden Dome defense and energy-directed weapons via laser platforms, the Pentagon speak goes like this. OTV-8 exemplifies the X-37B's status as the U.S. Space Force's premier test platform for the critical space technologies of tomorrow. You got nothing from that, right? That's how it works. Through its mission-focused innovations, the X-37B continues to redefine the art of the possible in the final frontier of space. You still got nothing, right? It's just a bunch of BS. In other words, move along, folks. Nothing to see here. You can't handle the truth. Anyway, this is a huge indication of the kabuki fight between Elon and Trump. Elon's got launch orders in the billions of dollars over the next 12 months. He's not sweating the Tesla stock, which, by the way, is the best car to purchase right now, soon, so that you can get the rebates. And in terms of the value, it's the best car to get for price. And here's the added bonus. The nuclear reactor orgasms the Silicon Valley billionaires are having are going to make electricity dirt cheap. You can drive this thing for free after the rebates. So get on it. Okay, take 5. Fun in court. 2 movies to watch. In Cinema 1, Google illegally monopolized the search market and needs to sell the Chrome web browser and license search data to competitors. Wow, that's a nightmare. This would be the biggest forced breakup of a U.S. company since AT&T was broken up of its monopoly in 1984. Make no mistake, Google has a monopoly, and it's all been predatory. Google controls 90% of online queries in a grossly politically biased leftist hegemony. Google paid $26 billion to other companies like Apple and Samsung to make Google the default browser. Google says the forced sale of Chrome would harm Americans' privacy and security. That is one of the best laugh lines I have heard in a year. Antitrust enforcers know that Google has taken predatory steps to stop rivals. No bueno. It's illegal, dudes. You got away with it by paying off leftist politicians and tons of rhinos, right? Who's the guy from Ohio, the wrestler? Seemed like a good guy. He's totally caught up in the web of Silicon Valley money. So, no good. All right. In Cinema 2, 55 million visas under scrutiny. Trump has ordered the State Department to review the status of 55 million visa holders currently in the U.S. Can anyone say AI project done before noon on Monday? This is part of the crackdown on illegal immigration. State Department vetting will turn up huge numbers of visa holders whose status has changed. How, you might ask? Well, they came here on a job visa, don't have the job anymore. Overstays. These are typically travel visas. You came here for a limited amount of time to visit and you never left. Status changes. This is a broad area. The visa hinged on one specific that has changed in many cases years ago. No follow-up by our government. Criminal activity or terrorist involvement. It doesn't require arrest, just that the police investigated you or that you continually are disruptive on college campuses. Okay, so our government has been 100% incompetent and run by kleptomaniac buffoons, and all of these people know it. They know there won't be any follow-up. So however the Justice Department works or the State Department works, everybody figures, just get me in the place and they'll never find me. And that's been working for decades, not now, thanks to Biden. It all has to be this gigantic dumpster fire that Trump and the Republicans have to deal with while they rebuild the economy. All right, take 6. There's 2 of these. Meet Joe Sandberg. So who is Joe Sandberg? He's a California dirtbag Democrat, and he founded a company called Aspiration. You got to give it to the Dems. Nobody as shamelessly names projects meant to do the opposite of the naming implication. So here's the grift. Aspiration would receive money from companies for carbon credits, right? So if you don't know what that is, look up Al Gore and his armada of SUVs. They then, after the companies pay them for their carbon credits, they then promise to pay a third party to plant trees in, are you ready for it? Africa, that would offset the emissions. You'd invest in this, right? Don't you love the earth? Joe Sandberg does. Maybe not. Well, Joe the schmo got Leonardo the sperm whale DiCaprio and Robert Downey Syndrome Jr. to be early investors. They love the earth even if you don't. Joe the schmo duped tree hugger leftists out of $2 billion, according to Department of Justice, and is facing 40 years in prison. All right. Joe is best buds with Gavin the Greaseball and personally paid 11 million. You can do that when you steal 2 billion of other people's money. 11 million is pocket change for a ballot initiative to raise California's minimum wage to $18 an hour, $18 an hour. So just face it. Joe the Schmo and Gavin the Greaseball care more than you do. They do. They care more than you do. And one of our favorite lefty rags, The Atlantic, did a 2019 story on the great Schmo titled Joe Sandberg Dares Trump to Call Him a Socialist. Well, now it's 2025, so felon might work as a better moniker for Joe the Schmo and many more of the climate pagan cardinals. What a gaggle of goofball grifters. But we're not grifters. We're delivering value 5 days a week and Saturday and Sunday, all for free. What do you got to do to keep this going? You have to like us. You have to subscribe. It's free. I know it's scary, but do it anyway. And make comments, okay? Don't say, good show, all right? I got the rhino skin, right? I want to hear what you like and what you don't like. You can't like all of it. I don't like all of it. And what else? Well, despite the fact that half of you are going to leave in the middle of this week, I am still, based on your record, going to ask God Almighty, the omniscient creator of the universe, to bless you. And he will, especially and in whatever fashion you kick off this work week. If you're in a beach in DR, God bless you. If you are here working it all the way to the end of the week, God bless you. And you know what? He will bless you. So God bless you and have a great Monday. I'm so out.